and we are raising or trying to raise anything in high school. And I don't know what is harder. But you see, I did not become a father because I like to change diapers. Dealing with crap, pardon my French, it just comes with the territory. I became a father because of this opportunity to impact someone's life so he or she can become the best version of themselves and influence our society. I want to believe that whenever you decided to run for office, it wasn't because you enjoy dealing with diapers, but it was because of this idea of being able to impact people's lives. So we together can become the best version of ourselves and together influence this beautiful state of Georgia. You see, when you remember who you are, that influences what you do. So as you go through 2024 and the opportunities present in front of you to do things, when perhaps the opportunity present in front of you to do something that advances your personal agenda, I want to encourage you to remember that you are a public servant not to advance your personal agenda, but to create legislation and policies that create a social fabric that is grounded in equal opportunities, in justice, and fair treatment for all. You see, when the opportunity presents in front of you to do something to please your friends, that you remember that you became a public servant not to do that, but to represent those who are at the margins so they can be seen, heard, valued, and treated with dignity. You see, when the opportunity presents in front of you to represent your political party, that you remember that you're in this place to represent every single citizen and resident of the state of Georgia, and work eagerly with each other to dismantle any system that is devaluing people's life. When you remember who you are, that influences what you do. And I will finish with this. You see, out of my 5 children, I have 4 boys and 1 girl. And a couple of years ago, my baby girl was being bullied in the school bus to the point that she refuses to ride the bus again. So I gathered my boys, especially the older ones, and I had a conversation with them. So when you get in the bus tomorrow with your sister, you have one assignment. See, their mom was looking at me, giving me the eyes, telling me, remember that you are a pastor, and I'm a public school teacher. Watch out what you said. And all I said, my boys, was, remember who you are. You'll know what to do. I want to thank you one more time for your opportunity to be here. I want to remind you that there is a church in Gwinnett County, the Net Church. There's over 450 churches across the state, United Methodist churches, and we are praying daily, not for what you do, but for who you are. Would you stand so we can pray together? God, we give you thanks for the opportunity to be in your presence. It is a gift that we do not take for granted. God, we certainly pray for Representative Barrett and his family, for also the rest of the members of this house that as they're going through challenges that life brings to them. God, especially I pray for the unity of this body, that you will give them wisdom, discernment, clarity, grace and courage to keep the main thing, and that is the better of the beautiful state of Georgia for the sake of others. We pray this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And I will invite you to pledge the alliance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
That was awesome. Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. Members, you may greet Dr. Cruz in the South Ante room. Dr. Cruz, thank you for those words of direction and encouragement. It's a way to start today. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Members, we can have your attention just for a minute or two. Our doctor of the day today is brought to us by Representative Houston Gaines. Of the 120th, he is Dr. B. Rustin McAllister, MD. He'll be downstairs in the aid station. Thanks for inviting and taking care of our health needs today, Representative Houston Gaines. Thank you so much. And let Dr. McAllister know we appreciate him being here. Chair now recognizes Chairman Tarvin, Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. If the members will give him your attention. Chairman Tarvin.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal from the previous legislative day and found to be correct. And we welcome everyone back today after being off a week for appropriations. And this one is for everybody but me and maybe you, Mr. Speaker. Welcome to the day, another chance. Feel free to change.
I'm with you on that one, Chairman. I'm doing my best. Chairman Tarvin, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? The chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Station, the 104th moves following be establishes the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. Before we have first reading of bills and resolutions, I want to remind all the members of this House, the People's House, that this is the first day that we have young people in the chamber. We have pages today. So I hope you all will recognize those pages, give them your attention, and show good behavior. I know that's difficult for this crowd, but show good behavior. And the chair would always also like to tell you, thank you for those who attended the Appropriations Committee meetings last week. I hope it was beneficial to you and your interest in you serving here. We're glad to have the pages again. First reading of bills and resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill 928 by Representative Ridley the 22nd, Ridley the 6th, Powell the 33rd, Horner the 3rd, Fleming of the 114th. Bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 1518.5 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating the appointment of substitute for absent or disqualified district attorney.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 929 by Representative Ridley the 22nd, Ridley the 6th, Powell the 33rd, Horner the 3rd, Persinger the 119th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7 to Title 48 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to imposition rate computation exemptions and credits for state income tax.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 930 by Representative Ridley the 22nd, Ridley the 6th, Reeves the 99th, Powell the 33rd, Horner the 3rd. Bill be entitled an act to amend Code Section 35-1-19 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to disclosure of arresting book photographs prohibited.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 931 by Representative Ridley the 22nd, Ridley the 6th, Reeves the 99th, Horner the 3rd, Persinger the 119th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 21 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to government transparency and campaign finance.
Judiciary.
House Bill 932 by Representative Mathis the 149th, Gunther the 8th, Gullett of the 19th, Vance of the 133rd, Lott of the 131st, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 16-5-1 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to murder.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 933 by Representative Momtahana the 17th, Barton of the 5th, Mathis the 149th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 42-86 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to special license plates.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 934 by Representative Momtahana the 17th, Mathis the 149th, Gullett of the 19th, Canada the 172nd, Gunner of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 5 of Chapter 4, Title 10 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to self-service storage facilities.
Judiciary.
House Bill 935 by Representative Vance, the 133rd, Hitchens, the 161st, Cameron of the 1st, Scoggins, the 14th, Chastain of the 7th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 14, Title 40 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to use of speed detection devices.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 936 by Representative Bonner of the 73rd, Scoggins of the 14th, Gull of the 19th, Kelly of the 16th, Knight of the 134th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to health of elementary and secondary school students.
Education.
House Bill 937 by Representative Momtahana of the 17th, Gullett of the 19th, Camp of the 135th, Cannon of the 172nd, Corbett of the 174th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 4 of Article 3 of Chapter 1 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to ride-share network services.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 938 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Taylor of the 92nd, Glaze of the 67th, Alexander of the 66th, Bell of the 75th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 7 of Title 44 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to landlord and tenant.
Judiciary.
House Bill 939 by Representative Reeves in the 99th, Hitchens the 161st, Lumsden of the 12th, Vance the 133rd, Scoggins the 14th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 40 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to motor vehicles and traffic.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 940 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Williams the 148th, Cannon of the 172nd, Horner of the 3rd, Barrett of the 24th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 15 of Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to Fair Business Practices Act of 1975.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 941 by Representative Irwin of the 32nd, Jones of the 47th, Dubnik of the 29th, Jones of the 25th, Reeves of the 99th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 22-260 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to capital outlay funds.
Education.
House Bill 942 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Lott of the 131st, Daniel of the 117th, Dempsey the 13th, Hagan of the 156th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 161192, the official code of Georgia annotated relating to sexual extortion.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 943 by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, Powell of the 33rd, Ballinger the 23rd, Horner of the 3rd, Ridley the 22nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 4883 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to exemptions from sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 944 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Donahue the 31st, Leverett of the 123rd, McCollum of the 30th, Cox of the 28th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to ad valorem taxation of property.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 945 by Representative Hawkins the 27th, Taylor the 173rd, Anderson to the 10th, Irwin of the 32nd, Parrish of the 158th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 1 of Chapter 18 of Title 45 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the state's employees' health insurance plan.
Insurance.
House Bill 946 by Representative Hawkins the 27th, Donahue the 31st, McCollum of the 30th, Cox of the 28th, Irwin of the 32nd, and others. Bill be titled act to amend Part 1 of Article 5A of Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to special district mass transportation sales and use tax.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 947 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Abstration of the 104th, Hong of the 103rd, Gunther of the 8th, Oliver of the 82nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 6 of Title 15 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions concerning superior courts.
Judiciary.
House Bill 948 by Representative Moptown of the 17th, Kelly the 16th, Gullett of the 19th, Scott is the 14th, Barton of the 5th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 949 by Representative Moptown of the 17th, Gullett of the 19th, Scoggins the 14th, Kelly the 16th, Barton of the 5th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to elections and primaries generally. Yes.
Governmental Affairs.
House Resolution 804 by Representative Martin of the 49th, Silcox of the 53rd, Jones of the 47th, and Jones of the 25th. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to change the date by which temporary loans for counties, municipalities, and other political subdivisions.
Judiciary.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 921 by Representative Bernal of the 77th, Scott of the 76th, Bell of the 75th, Neal of the 79th. A bill to authorize the governing authority of the City of Forest Park to levy an excise tax. House Bill 922 by Representative Vance of the 133rd, Tarvin of the 2nd, Lumsden of the 12th, Collins of the 71st, Hitchens of the 161st. A bill relating to general provisions relative to criminal trespass and damage to property. House Bill 923 by Representative Taylor of the 92nd, Alexander of the 66th, McLean of the 109th, Douglas of the 78th, Kennard of the 101st. A bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic. House Bill 924 by Representative Ballinger of the 23rd, Hatchett of the 155th, Knight of the 134th, Cooper of the 45th, Taylor of the 173rd. A bill relating to insurance. House Bill 925 by Representative Staines of the 180th, Burchett of the 176th, Hilton of the 48th, Daniel of the 117th, Horner of the 3rd, and others. A bill relating to general provisions relative to emergency management. House Bill 926 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Maynard of the 56th, Green of the 154th, Hilton of the 48th, Vance of the 133rd, and others. A bill relating to criminal procedure. House Bill 927 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Abstration of the 104th, Anderson of the 10th, Cannon of the 172nd, Sains of the 180th. A bill relating to hunting. House Resolution 780 by Representative Petrie of the 166th, Sains of the 180th, Kelly of the 16th, Gaines of the 120th, Seabaugh of the 34th, and others. A resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution of the State of Georgia so as to clarify that only citizens of the United States shall have the right to vote in elections in this state. Through second readers.
We have no reports of standing committees. So we're going to move on to morning orders. Members will please take your seats. Representative Hilton, if you'll make your way down. We'll now have our morning orders. Members, will you give the member in the well your attention? We have some special people, well, 2 members in the well. Good to see you. So we'll recognize Representative Hilton
One more friend here.
and Representative Ruan.
We got one more friend here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As many of you know, the Girl Scouts were founded right here in Georgia by Juliet Gordon Low in 1912, and I am honored today to be joined by one of the best Girl Scout troops in all of Georgia from Peachtree Corners. Let's stand and give a warm welcome to Troop 17069, all the way down here from Peachtree Corners. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think that happened down in Savannah, didn't it? Founding the Girl Scouts. Welcome, good to have y'all. Hope y'all have a great day. Thank you for that recognition. See, Representative Derek Jackson, Representative Reese, Representative Teddy Reese.
Mr.
Oh, you
Speaker,
have friends too, don't you, there, Representative Jackson?
Yes, sir,
goodness.
Mr. Speaker.
Looks good.
I do have friends, Mr. Speaker. I do have some friends. Good morning, colleagues. It is a great day in Georgia. The reason why it's great because we have some of our Divine Nine family members who are here with us. And so, for those who do not know what the Divine Nine is, the Divine Nine is a nickname of a group of 9 historically black Greek letter organizations that collectively makes up the National Panhellenic Council. These 9 organizations, Mr. Speaker, have placed significant places in our history and in our culture. Collectively, these organizations comprise of nearly 4 million members. And some of the members, if you can kindly stand in the gallery, are represented right here. Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Delta Sigma Theta, Phi Beta Sigma, Zeta Phi Beta, Sigma Gamma Rho, and last but not least, Iota Phi Theta. Let's give them a warm welcome, members. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We yield the well.
Representative, I didn't know you were literate in Greek there, but you did a fine job on that. I can just tell you what. That was awesome. I know who to call on when I need some translation now. Welcome, members. Good to have y'all. Members, we have a resolution. We'll speak to our scheduling a little bit here, I think, Mr. Leader. Ms. Clerk, are you ready to read House Resolution 805? Clerk will read the resolution, House Resolution 805. Members will give the clerk your attention.
House Resolution 805 by Representative Estration of the 104th, calling a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate for the purpose of hearing a message from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
A gentleman from the 104th, the Majority Leader of this House, Representative Estration, is recognized to explain the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and if the clerk could put up the resolution, thank you. This is House Resolution 805, or as the lawyers in the room know, your favorite day of the legislative session. We get to hear from the Chief Justice to give us an update on the state of the judiciary. set for February 7th at 11 a.m. in the House chamber where we'll have a joint session. I'd ask for your favorable consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions? Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. I'm sure it will be riveting, so we all need to be here. For what purpose does Representative F. Strachan rise?
Make a motion.
State your motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that House Resolution 805 be immediately transmitted to the Senate.
Majority Leader F. Strachan moves that House Resolution 805 be immediately transmitted to the Senate. Is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read a resolution, House Resolution 806? Mr. Clerk.
House Resolution 806 by Representative F. Strachan to the 104th, a resolution to call for the nomination and election of the chairperson of the State Election Board.
The gentleman from the 104th is recognized to explain the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, House Resolution 806, which is, I believe, is out on the desk and you can see up here on the board, just schedules the House confirmation vote for Thursday, January 25th at 11 a.m. This is concerning the appointment of chair of the State Elections Board. So this resolution does not confirm the chair of the State Elections Board, just schedules when that will take place, which would be Thursday of this week at 11 a.m. And I'd ask for your favorable consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. Majority Leader's for what purpose does a Majority Leader rise?
Make a motion.
State your motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that House Resolution 806 be immediately transmitted to the Senate.
Representative F. Strachan moves that House Resolution 806 be immediately transmitted to the Senate. Is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Members, we're going to take up a matter that we had in the 23 session that Representative Mathis brought to us. So at this point in time, if you'll give the gentleman in the well your attention, Chair will recognize Representative Mathis for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to make a motion, please.
State your motion.
I'd like to move that the House agree to send an amendment to the House substitute of Senate Bill 35. This is a...
We'll let you explain it in just a second. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
Senate Bill 35 by Senator Merritt of the 9th Jones, the 22nd, Butler the 55th, Harbison the 15th, and others to be titled an act to amend Code Section 4286 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to special license plates.
Representative Mathis is recognized to explain the Senate amendment.
Yes, sir. The amendment is adding into a glucose monitor bill that we passed in this House with only one nay vote. It offers a glucose monitor for Medicaid patients. And we hope that you'd give it a favorable consideration.
On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to Senate amendment to the gentleman didn't yield the will, so we're going to hold him back to answer a couple of questions. Representative Holcomb is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Is it not true that the second part of this measure was an action that the House took on day 38 last year to amend what had been House Bill 364, the Wrongful Conviction Compensation Review Panel bill, to SB 35?
If you say so, yes, sir.
Okay. And is it not further true that while passing this will eliminate that language from this bill because lines 1 and 2 strike out in their entirety lines 1 through 226 of the House substitute, which was passed with overwhelmingly support? I'm going to support your motion, and then we can continue to work on the Wrongful Compensation Act going forward.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. You have no further questions.
Mr. Speaker, I yield the will.
On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate amendment to the House substitute to Senate Bill 25, we'll need to vote this one, members. All those in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Take your time. I know you got a bad knee. All members voted. All members have voted, so the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 152s and nays are 1, and the House has agreed to the Senate amendment to the House substitute to SB 25. Is that 35? I'm sorry. House Bill 35. Members, we have a couple of motions to withdraw a bill from one committee and recommit to another. For what purpose does Representative Roger Bruce rise?
To make a motion
State your motion.
that we move House Bill 882 from Government Affairs to Judiciary, non-civil. Both chairmen have agreed.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
House Bill 882 by Representative Bruce, the 61st, and others to be titled an act to amend Code Section 35-119 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to disclosure of arrest booking photographs.
On the gentleman's motion that HB 882 be withdrawn from the Government Affairs Committee and recommitted to Judy Non-Civil Committee, is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Thank you, Representative Bruce. Boy, that back row's busy today. Has been busy. For what purposes Representative Stinson rise? Would you like to make a motion?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't press the.
For what purposes Representative Stinson rise?
To make a motion, Mr. Speaker.
State your motion,
Mr.
Representative.
Speaker, I make a motion that House Bill 174 be moved from education to public health, and both chairmen are in agreement.
Thank you, Representative. Clerk, Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
House Bill 174 by Representative Bentley, the 150th and others, to be entitled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 to Chapter 2 entitled 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to student health in elementary and secondary education.
On the lady's motion that HB 174 be withdrawn from the Education Committee and recommitted to Public and Community Health Committee, is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions? Mr. Clerk.
Honoring the life and memory of Mayor Betty Hanna. Honoring the life and memory of Sergeant Mark Andrew McIntyre. Recognizing, commending Katrina Baranko. Congratulating, commending Philip Moss. Congratulating, commending Jack Bailey. Commending the University of Georgia 4-H program. Recognizing February 7th to 14th, 2024 as Congenital Heart Defects Awareness Week at the state capitol. Recognizing and commending Gabriel Tobin. Commending Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc. for its 111 years of service and recognizing January 29th, 2024 as Delta Day at the state capitol. Recognizing, commending Command Sergeant Major Brandon B. Rudder for his exceptional military career. Recognizing, commending Colonel Mark J. Austin for his exceptional military career. Recognizing, commending Lieutenant Colonel Robert C. Culberson for his exceptional military career. Recognizing, commending Colonel Jeremy Wilson on his exceptional military career. Recognizing, commending Chief John Letney on his outstanding public service and law enforcement. Congratulating Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets for winning the 2023 GHSA Class 6A State Football Championship. Recognizing January 27, 2024 as International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Recognizing, commending the Atlanta Vibe Professional Women's Indoor Volleyball Team. Recognizing, commending Easter Seals and all its Georgia chapters. Commending and congratulating Helen Rouse Walton. Recognizing and commending Yolanda Hollins McGee. Commending the Georgia FFA Association and recognizing February 20, 2024 as FFA Day at the state capitol. Recognizing and commending the Miss Georgia Peach Scholarship Pageant and the 2023 Georgia Peach Queens. Recognizing, commending Wilmond Antoine Meadows on his outstanding public service. Recognizing, commending Lance Hester on his outstanding public service. Recognizing, commending Keisha Cheatham on her outstanding public service. and recognizing and commending the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and its Georgia chapter. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions, plural? Chair has none, and the resolutions are adopted. We're going on to afternoon orders. Members, I will remind you, though, before we finish the orders, that we do have pages. If you have a page here today, we will be taking page photos immediately upon adjournment. Immediately upon adjournment. Representative Carter. Where is she? Representative Doreen Carter, you good with this?
Yes, sir. My son said that no, so we'll work with it.
You're good. Representative Carter, you're recognized.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. I have not been down to the well, but you know why I'm here. Thursday, February the 1st, we will be asking you to wear red for Go Red for Women, which is the American Heart Association's day where we bring awareness to heart disease, which we all know, and I hate to keep coming back saying this, it's the number one cause of death in women, and black women in particular. So make this note that today is the first day we're coming to ask you, so you have time to either shop or go home and bring you some clothes on Thursday, February the 1st. We're wearing red. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Carter. I knew that Representative Carter would follow along with the time constraints here, so members, some of these others I'm not sure, so especially the next one. So I remind all members we have 3 minutes for your order. Representative Carpenter. Oh boy, I'm ready. Chairman Carpenter is recognized for an order.
I got Chairman Tarvin with me too.
And Chairman Tarvin, all right. All-star cast here.
Hold that thing right there, big. All right, folks. We got your rug this year. We will be down at the Freight Depot tonight from 4 to 6 to celebrate Dalton Whitfield Day at the Capitol. Get down there, have a little to eat, a little to drink, and get your rug. We really appreciate you to show how important manufacturing is to Northwest Georgia and the state of Georgia. Thank you.
Hey, that's awesome. That may be one of the best. What do you think? Chairman Dickey likes the peach. Hey, members, this is a great event with Dalton, Whitfield County, so I hope everyone will make an attempt to get down. If you don't go down and get your rug, I'm going to get it. We're going to bring back an armload of them, and you may not get a chance. Representative Schofield is recognized for a afternoon order in the morning. Representative Schofield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, colleagues. Without question, Georgia laid to rest a phenomenal woman this weekend, Miss Diane Powell-Larche. Diane was always dedicated to making a difference. Those who knew Diane loved her. Diane was the owner of Larche Communications, a public relation and communication firm responsible for the 94th birthday celebration of Dr. Joseph E. Lowry, as well as the 75th birthday celebration of Congressman John Lewis, and so much more. Diane created Family Food Fest, formerly known as Real Men Cook, to honor urban men on Father's Day. Ever committed to serving the community, Diane was the founding president of the Greater Atlanta section of the National Council of Negro Women. She was the former vice president in outreach for the Junior League, and she faithfully and tirelessly served as a board member of the League of Women Voters in Atlanta in the Fulton County chapter. She also served was an active board member for over 20 years on the Lupus Foundation of America Georgia chapter, and she was a member of Degma Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I apologize, ladies. Diane gave her time, talents, and treasure to Atlanta until her final breath. To her husband, Joe, thank you for sharing Diane with all of us, and in so many special ways. We will always carry Diane in our hearts. Let us give a moment of silence and a smile with our hearts for a life well lived. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Oh, she does? You may be seated, members. You have another morning order? Okay. Representative Schofield is recognized for an additional afternoon order in the morning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maternal mortality is not just an urban, rural, or suburban issue. It's a human value, human rights issue that, due to our failure as a state, has acted not so sufficiently to put this issue, making Georgia a state of emergency. Maternal mortality and pregnancy-associated deaths devastate men, women, and families. The Maternal Mortality Review Committee reviewed 786 pregnancy-associated deaths, and of the 786 pregnancy-associated deaths, 312 were determined to be pregnancy-related deaths. So we can turn a deaf ear, but it won't stop women from dying. We can think it's not happening in our district, but I highly think that's a false narrative. And let me be clear, we're not scaring black women from having babies. We will continue to tell the truth. We love our data, and we have the data. We have the funding. In fact, we have so much funding that we know we can use some of this to fix the problem. We have the brightest minds and the best people in this chamber, y'all. So I'm curious, why do we still have a problem with death of maternal mortality? Colleagues, it's our responsibility and our time is now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Representative Adine is recognized for an afternoon order in the morning. Representative Adine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And he has some friends. Just give them a minute to join you. Members need to pay attention to the member in the well.
On December 29th, 2023, Shania Kellis Green was shot by a stray bullet while attending a holiday party. She was 18 years of age, a loving daughter, a young mother of an 8-month son, a sister, and a friend to many, friends who loved her dearly. I attended her funeral yesterday, as it was personal for me as I celebrated my birthday just down the street from this tragedy that happened. I have 2 kids her age. I could not begin to imagine how a mother so young could have lost her life. Her mother, I heard her mother's words during the funeral, knowing the grief and pain that she felt. During the funeral ceremony, I learned that Shania would have graduated this spring and wanted to pursue a career in lash tech and dental hygiene professionally. I want to thank the Gwinnett County Police who have worked tirelessly investigating this shooting and know, with the support of our community, will bring the suspects to justice once they are apprehended. I thank God mostly because she knew Christ and she's with the Lord today. As a body, I ask for your prayers for the family as they grieve, but let us do justice for Shania's young son, who will grow up not knowing her grieving parents, her large family. I thank God for her uncle for constant communication. Let us do something in Georgia for young kids and others that fall victim to similar situations. Let's make a change in Georgia, addressing violence that are impacting our kids. Can we take a few moments of silence for Shania Kellis Green? Amen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Aldina. Representative Jasmine Clark is recognized for an afternoon order.
Right. Good morning, colleagues. This morning, I would like to welcome the Atlanta Vibe to the Georgia State Capitol, and specifically to the Georgia State House. They already got a chance to visit the Senate. The Atlanta Vibe is Georgia's premier professional indoor volleyball team and the founding members of the Pro Volleyball Federation, this establishing and growing professional volleyball in North America. Did you all know that volleyball is the #1 team sport for girls in the United States? Well, I am so proud that we are welcoming this professional team to our state. They will play in Gwinnett's own Gas South Arena, and the players on the team come from all over the world, including 6 national team players, 2 international team players. They come from 18 different universities, including conferences from the SEC and other conferences, and they also have players from all over the country, including right here in the state of Georgia. So we welcome them to the state capitol. If you are interested in taking a picture with them, they will be in the South Anteroom. This is history in the making, so they would love to see you all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
If y'all will please stand. If y'all will come down, we'll take some photos with you in the South Anteroom. Thank y'all for being here. Yes, volleyball is pretty cool stuff, and we appreciate it. I know a lot of young ladies that are playing volleyball. It's really catching on fast. It's pretty fast paced too, isn't it? Thank y'all for being here. That completes our afternoon orders. We do have some announcements. Chairman Corbett, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Motor Vehicles Committee will meet at 8 o'clock in the morning, room 606, CLOB. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Trans, recognized for an announcement. Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The DeKalb delegation does have a meeting today in room 514. The DeKalb delegation has a meeting in room 514 at noon. Lunch will be provided. Thank you.
Floor Leader Gamble, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., the fellowship will meet in the House Judiciary Committee room. All members, I encourage you to come. We look forward to seeing you. This will be our first meeting for the year. Look forward to seeing you at 7 a.m. in the morning in the Judiciary room for the House for the fellowship meeting.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Cooper, Chair Lady Cooper is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, please, if you I can have your attention. Across our state, people are having to put off their elective surgery all over the state because there's not enough blood. We are desperately short in the state of Georgia, and therefore we really need people to help, fix that situation. On this Wednesday, we're going to have a blood drive here at the Capitol again. It'll be from 8 a.m. to 5. The blood mobile will be outside between the Capitol and the LOB. So if you could plan to stop by and help the citizens of our state by, donating a pint of blood, we would really appreciate it. It'll be raining that day probably, and I know you're sweet, but you won't melt. And so if you will make plans to go do that. The other thing I would ask you, this would be a great time to get a photo of you giving blood and putting it out across your districts about how desperate people are, and they can call up the Red Cross and ask where they can could go and donate blood. So why don't you take that opportunity and get a good photo while you're giving blood and then put it out on your media. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the will.
Chair Lady, I have a question. I bet there's plenty of blood in the state, but it's just in other people's bodies, and we need to share it with those who need it. Would that be correct?
You are really right, Mr. Speaker. There is a lot of blood in Georgia, but it's just in people's bodies. Thank you for that. So, everybody, I hope you will begin to share some of that blood in your body. Thank you, sir.
I hope all the members will join in the effort on Wednesday. Leader F. Stration, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There will be a chairman's lunch today in room 403 at noon. 403 of the Capitol, noon today for the chairman's lunch. And the chairman's lunch will be on Mondays when we're in session throughout the legislative session as planned. But we'll see all the chairmen in 403 at noon. Thank you.
Chairman Mitchell. Chairman Billy Mitchell. I want to hear what that was about. Recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There will be a meeting of the Georgia House Democratic Caucus tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in room 216 in the Capitol. Breakfast will be served. Thank you so very much, Mr. Speaker, for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Irwin, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just want to announce we'll have our first Education Committee meeting today, scheduled at 1 o'clock in CLOB 506. So Education Committee members, please come to our first meeting today. A lot of good information going to be presented to you today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Important meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Meeks, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, members. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, there will be an Economic Development Subcommittee for Appropriations hearing. 1 o'clock, room 341. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
1 o'clock, 341. Thank you there, Representative Meeks. That's it. That completes our announcements. Now we have a member who has a birthday today. Wait just a minute. You want another shot at it? Is that okay? We'll get it right this time. Representative Jasmine Clark has an announcement.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to make an announcement that the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus will be having a lunch and learn today at 11 o'clock a.m. in CLOB. So happening now. It is a hot lunch. And we would love to have you all there. Legislative Black Caucus, 11 a.m., 510 CLOB. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, the people down in Lowndes County, Georgia, and the big city of Valdosta are celebrating today. One of their very own has a birthday. One of our very own has a birthday. We won't give it away because he may have not been old enough when he was elected to this body, but Chairman John LaHood is celebrating a birthday today. Chairman LaHood. You look marvelous for your age. Members, remember, if you have a page, we're going to take page photos, so join us up here. $10 o'clock. Majority leaders recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024.
On the motion of the majority leader that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Tuesday, January the 23rd, 2024. All those in favor will say aye. All opposed say no. It wasn't even close. We're adjourned. The ayes have it.